Well, let's talk now about the cost of living crisis that really has been at the sort of centre of our interviews this morning. One thing that really struck me over the summer is the disconnect between some of the political debate in Westminster and what people are experiencing in their own lives across the United Kingdom, and whether that's what's happening in your local school or hospital, or trying to work out how on earth your wages are going to cover your energy and food bills. You know, it seems to me more important than ever to hear some of those voices and to put those real-life experiences to the people who have the levers to do something about it, our political guests. Well, there's only one place to start this week: energy bills. We've been looking at the impact on small business, who of course aren't protected by the price cap. Now, a typical pub was paying about £15,500 on energy. That's expected to rise to just under £50,000, according to the British Beer and Pub Association, up more than 200%. Now, the industry employs some 940,000 people, and there are around 47,000 pubs in the United Kingdom. So we can talk now to the owner of a pub to find out what is going on. This morning, we're going to take you to Thornton-le-Dale, a very picturesque village in North Yorkshire. At the centre of that village is the Buck Inn. We can talk to its owner, Abbie Marshall, now. Thank you so much for being on the programme this morning, Abbie. Just talk us through first, how much of your energy bill's gone up?
So just to put it into context, we bought the pub in September 21, so 11, 12 months ago. We are not connected to mains gas here, so we run off an LPG tank. When we filled the tank, when we moved in September 21, to when we filled the tank 4 weeks ago, that had gone up 285%. We're due to get our new electricity bill, which we are predicting is due to come in on Monday, which will be 300%. So if you add that all together, I'm predicting, Sophie, my utilities should go from about 22,000 to about 58,000.
Wow, so that really is, a big rise. You must be hit by food price inflation as well.
Yeah, and I think the problem is as well, Sophie, whilst obviously everybody's talking about utilities at the moment, and it is extremely important. For the past 6 months, hospitality and all small businesses, we've been seeing direct cost of doing business escalating beyond what we've ever seen before. And the problem is, when you're running a small business or any business and you're trying to control your costs, and every single direct cost of your business is escalating at a point that you have no control over it. It's very worrying. Cost of food, cost of beer, utilities, VAT, for example. VAT was 5%, that's gone to 20%. So we've just paid our first VAT bill at 20%, which was excruciatingly painful. Business rates as well, they're 50% at the moment, but again, they're due to go up to 100%. So what you're looking at is, you're forecasting and you're looking at your P&L, and every single line on your P&L is just growing, and it's not stopping. It's just completely escalating. And then there comes a point where you can't streamline your business. You can't look at your business and say, how do we deal with these costs? Because every single one of those costs really is out of your control.
It's really, we spoke about the increase in your energy bills. When you told my producer that fish and chips has had to go up from £12.95 to £17.95.
Yeah,
because of a 300% rise in fish.
Absolutely, just a silly example, Sophie. £12.95 September 21, £17.95 now. What we started doing as well is we've started moving away from menus, permanent menus, just because the price fluctuation on product and inventory is so up and down at the moment that if we were to physically print a menu, I can guarantee within 3 to 4 weeks, a lot of those prices will be obsolete. So we've gone to specials boards where we can change the pricing week by week or every couple of weeks. The chefs are continuously looking at price point. And I think the scary thing is how quickly it changes. That's definitely something that's sort of really hit home for me, is the speed in which it changes, is the fact that you try and put it together a set of figures, and within a couple of weeks, those aren't correct. You're behind.
It's really, it is a bit of an eye-opener, to be honest, talking to you this morning and just getting the kind of real-world example about what rising inflation actually means.
Yeah,
It's one of those words you kind of chuck around and in
yeah,
political interviews, and you don't really think about the real-world examples in terms of, fish and chips or a pint at your pub, and
yeah.
of course all the people that rely on those businesses as well. Liz Truss, we believe, or maybe Rishi Sunak, are going to be setting out their plan to deal with the cost of living and energy
Yeah.
in the coming week. What do you need? If the next Prime Minister was watching this now, what do you need them to do?
I think there's a few things, Sophie. Well, from my perspective, and obviously I can't speak for all SMEs and small businesses, but I think obviously VAT jumping from 5 to 20% has been a huge issue for us. I'd like to see a cut in VAT. I'd like to see a holiday on business rates, which I mean, we've been talking about business rates for a decade. It's a system that doesn't work. It's not representative of the market as it is now. So I think that whole system needs looking at. And I think there needs to be a cap on utilities. Ultimately, we're an employer. Just an example, we're in a very small village, but if we were to go, you'd be looking at 15 to 17 people without jobs. So when you start looking at that's just one small pub in a small village, the scale of the problem, times that by 30,000 pubs, and that's just hospitality, never mind your bakeries and your cafes and your other small businesses. So VAT, business rates, holiday, and a cap on utilities would be a start. But then I think we've got to think about how do we future-proof our businesses moving forward. We unfortunately we use a lot of energy. We have fridges, we have ovens, we have cooling systems, we have cellars. There's got to be some sort of long-term idea of how we move forward as a sector and what we get. Are they going to enable us to install green energy? Are we going to be able to install solar? Something just to
Okay.
future-proof ourselves from this happening again.
Thank you so much. It's been really interesting to talk
No
to you
problem.
this morning, Abbie. And good luck in the months ahead. Let's hope there's something for you
No
next
problem.
week.
Thanks, Sophie.